Your first time in my life. My name is Chief Apostle Samuel Lee Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. Um, I have to go to Miami today. I want to say first of all salutation to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. I do realize that I'm up uh, early, but I still waited an hour before I did my video. I want to say hello to my earth signs, my water signs, my fire signs, and my air elements. To each and every one of you guys on this platform, I teach universal laws, and we use the African traditions, which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. Good morning to you, Demetrius, my Gemini in the house. Um, I live a life of spirituality, and I'm a pastor. I'm in the church. I minister. I do a lot of things when it comes down to the umbrella of the church, and I practice openly the ATRs. And I'm a very straightforward person and very upfront. Um, and I wanted to share some things that I think that a lot of people miss with me, and I want people to grow. I got a lot of text message. It's so many people that are excited about the conjure class, and I'm excited too. But my thing is, and I don't want people to misconstrue me. A lot of people think that it's about your flaws. Whatever you believe that your shortcomings are, as a Scorpio, as a Taurus, as a Sagittarius, whatever your flaws, and based off of the principles, and based off of um, the conditioning that one has, you have to understand something. It has never, and especially with me, never be never was and is about your shortcomings. It's always when I teach, when I share knowledge, wisdom, understanding, some things you pay for and some things you do not pay for. It's your constant betrayal of yourself. You think it's about disappointing Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. It's not that with me. It's about how you are more concerned that I'm disappointed than you're actually disappointed. That you did not live up to your capacity, that you did not utilize proper judgment, whatever it is. And I see so many people. It's nothing wrong with admiring people. It's nothing wrong with having honor and respect for elders. I have no problem with that. The problem is that most people don't understand about me when it comes to magic. I understand as a Sagittarian that I have to experience certain things to get the nectar or the wisdom out. When I say betrayal of self, you're more concerned about making a mistake, and you're concerned about making the mistake, but you're not concerned about hitting the mark for you. If somebody is truly about you developing and you becoming what you were destined to do from a magical perspective and also a physical perspective, then that person is going to take great joy in your personal triumphs, not in your flaws. I'm going to say it again. Spirituality is about development. It is a lifelong. Please do not miss that with me. I have expectations of myself. I'm a Sagittarian. I have high expectations of myself and anybody involved. But I have wisdom of to know that people are flawed, not as they have they make mistakes, but the less knowledge you have, the less you can do better. The more you betray self, the more you're not going to be in alignment to what your ancestors want. The reason why some of you don't understand my attitude is because when you actually work for people, you actually teach people, you actually are examples to people, then yes, you have a higher degree of expectations, a measure of expectations, not an unrealistic expectation. What's up, my love? My Taurus in the house. What's up, Ryan? Good morning to each and every one of you guys. I have enough wherewithal as a 50-year-old man that been doing magic since I was a child to understand that people struggle in their transition, especially when they have been indoctrinated. The problem that I'm having with people is you misunderstanding my energy, my drive, my tenacity, my the wisdom of things I've already been through. I'm not trying to change who you are. I'm trying to help you become more of who you are because that's my journey. The fact that you will betray yourself and then blame others, the fact that you will betray yourself and blame elders or the ATRs, the fact that you have no problem betraying yourself, but you're going to be faithful to me. That's the problem. How you got more honor for another person or individual than you have the honor of yourself? When I get up in the morning and do what I got to do, that is for no applause because I'm doing this for me. And in loving me, I can in turn love you, and I can love you properly. I can love you where you are. The fact that you have a more get up and go when it comes to something that I desire, but when it comes to you and your health and your well-being, that you're not willing to invest, sweetheart, sir, that is betrayal of self. Because you can't be anything in this life to anybody until you understand self. When they say know thyself, that's a real thing. This is why I do not get lost in the ATRs. That's why I do not get lost or feel betrayed in Christianity. I don't have all these salty feelings because I understand my first duty is to my energy. That is the most. I'm not giving you information. I'm not sharing information with you because it sounds good. I'm telling you what's valuable. I'm telling you why we're in the age of Aquarius, why your personal individuality matters. You can't play your role in nobody's life when you don't know who you are. You can't stand your ground because you don't even know what your ground is. How you going to defend yourself when you don't understand self? Everything that I do is a personal development. I don't, when I work with the Nkisi, it is an extension of myself. Let me tell y'all something. As much as I joke around about my sexuality, I wouldn't let nobody minimize who I am and the role that I play in this life behind sex. Are you hearing me? Whatever type of sex that is. The mere fact that you will betray yourself and minimize who your energy is in order to fit in somebody's preconceived idea of what you should be. But you're not concerned about what God had designed you to be. And that is their opinion is more important to you. That's betrayal of self. This is not me going about in life that I don't give a damn, cause I most certainly do. But I'm not going to equate the way your views and opinions beyond what I was designed. That's why destiny matters and should matter to you. The fact that you don't feel like you need certain tools. That's why I'm excited about the class, because I'm going to get to show those people in that class a reflection of themselves, what it could be like if they would put their work and effort. When you get up in the morning, you working for you. When you get up in the morning, you take your vitamin supplement, not for nobody else. I was upset because they wouldn't let me out the hospital. I was not upset with them for how they were functioning. I wanted to come out the hospital so I can get on my grind and I can take control of my own health. When you're not on the same page with me about me, then I make the adjustment. I leave you where you are. I don't care if you're a medical professional. I don't care if you're a co-worker. I don't care if you're a family member. Because my first duty is to the God, the inner energy on the inside of me. That's what I teach. I don't care if it's voodoo. I don't care if it's Palo. I don't care. Whatever ATR, Kabbalah, that's what. It's self-development. What part of that you don't understand? Your willingness to feel validated or needful for other people, but you don't feel needful for yourself? Tell me who loved one died and they said, no, I want to take their place. So that lets me know you don't love nobody like that. Those are words. You ain't trying to trade places with nobody. Not when it comes to dying. If you don't understand me by now, you would never know me. You would never know the real goal of my agenda for classes, about my website. Yes, I'm formulating businesses around my conjure in order for me to be compensated for what I do. But at the end of the day, sir and ma'am, if you listen to me, I told people, when you got a business, that is an extension of you. Every day that you get up, when you renew your strength, the reason why you go get the morning sun is for you. The reason why you renew your mind is for you. As I evolve, I realize that I cannot have certain conversations. I understand when people are stuck where they are, and then I move accordingly. What's up, my twin, my kingmaker? I told the members of my church years ago, as long as I'm living, apostolic will live. Because I'm going to get up and do what I need to do for my ministry. I will never sit and depend on another person's resource. Resource, whether that is their intellect, resource, whether that is their income, their resource, whether that is their presence. Because I know that my success is not determined on people, places, and things. And therefore, I hold no ill will. If you stay, no ill will. If you go, no ill will. Because I know that God got a cattle on 1,000 hills. It's nobody's fault that you do not, sir and ma'am, believe the stuff that comes out of your mouth. When you believe you are the whatever it necessary is, then that means if I have to self-educate, I will. If I have to self-care, I will. If I have to have self-esteem, I will. If I have to have self-fulfilling prophecy, I will. When it comes to myself, whether that's higher self or lower self, my main job every morning is to not betray me. But whatever this world is offering, whatever the distractions are, when I take the vitamins and herbs, and sometimes I get tired of doing that, but I don't betray myself. Do you want to win? That's what I tell. When the Bible said that the prodigal son said to himself, when the woman with the issue of blood was crawling on the ground, she said within herself, if I could but touch. So if you can't have a rational, truthful conversation with self, you can't change your reality. The moment you keep saying that you're not poverty because you thank God that you got a roof over your head, you're still in poverty. You're still not walking in abundance. That is betrayal of self. When it says forget not all thy benefits, that came with an S. You can't talk melanin. Thank you so much, Kingmaker. You can't talk melanin and then turn around and betray it. Why are you so concerned about disappointing me? Me as in myself. Because that is the delusion. I don't have nothing to do what you choose to do with you. When you receive energy, I was uh, having a conversation with a kingmaker, and one of the things that I love, because her and Demetri act a lot when it comes to energy. If you come into my presence and you get a service and you get a working, your main job is to make sure you make full usage of that energy, that frequency, or whatever ceremony you got to better self. That's when you get to hear the concept, we can't help you until you help yourself. The fact that you don't have a problem betraying yourself because of a dollar, because of attention, whatever, because of ego. That's when you hear me say, and I've said many years ago, I'm not even gonna let me stop me. If you have that mindset, and the Bible says your heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord, and like David said, my Lord said unto my Lord, sit down on my what? Right hand while I make your enemies. So what Lord is David talking about? My Lord said unto my Lord. The Lord is something that governs over you, right? That's my higher self. When my higher self say, sit down while I make your enemies your footstool for the purpose. Let me tell y'all something. Manifestation takes place when you understand purpose. When Yahshua understood the purpose of Judas, he said, take me to the king. Take me to the cross. Take me to the crucifixion. See, everybody you don't get mad with. Like the scripture said, do what you gonna do and do it quickly. Everybody saw. Huh? You will start being offended with salt for being salty. You will stop getting offended with fire for being hot. Do Fire comes in your life to try your works. And it says the conditioning up on the fire, it said if it's real, it'll remain. But if it ain't real, it's going to be destroyed in the fire. It's going to be consumed. So if you choose as a grown man and a grown woman to betray yourself to the point that you're building your life and building your existence and your mind with things that have not been tried and tested, that ain't nobody but your personal betrayal of self. If it's not genuine, if it's not authentic, I don't build with it. I'm like that with my spiritual supplies. I'm like that with anything. When you can't endure hardness as a soldier, then why would I trust you to link up with you? Because you done showed me already that you will abort ship. Stability and consistency tell somebody what you have the ability to endure. You can't get in a relationship with me because you don't have no endurance. You're not secure in yourself, and you're not trying to do the things that are necessary to secure you. You won't even secure your bag. You won't do the things to make sure that you are all right and that you are ready to receive your daily bread. Because that bread represents nutrients. It represents never having to hunger. You don't drink from living water. That's why you always thirsty. When I get a word from the Lord, when I get spirit comes, I know it comes to purpose. Matter of fact, I end up having a dream about Minister Morris, son of Ochosi, last night. I'm a child of the dead. I keep trying to tell you, you would not be afraid of whatever your spiritual activity if you understood self. If you understood why you're energetically connected to this man called Chief Apostle Immediately. What is the purpose? The same way you know the purpose of why you pull up to a gas station, the same reason why you know the purpose of why you got a house and a place to stay, but you in a hotel. You know the purpose of why you get up each and every day to do or not to do what you need to do. But you're more concerned and you're trying to convince me that you're just upset because you think I'm disappointed in you. If you like it, I love it. I don't have no control. When I say I don't own people, if you don't want to do whatever God has given you the innate ability to do for you, you're no different than anybody in the animal kingdom. If you don't go out and hunt, you don't eat. In the scriptures say a man that don't work, don't eat. You right where you want to be. Because if you didn't want to be there in that reality, then you would do just like me. If I got to go to Miami 14 times in 1 week, if I got to, I supposed to be going to with Pedrino to do crowning in Tampa. When you say you want to live another reality, then you, sir, as long as God, divine mother or father give you the life, health, and strength, That you don't have to be dependent on anybody, and that you only want to be connected with people of like mind, people that understand energy and want to understand. I'm gonna say that part. When somebody wants to understand, they will not lean to their own understanding. They will let divine direct their path. You wouldn't be in so much confusion. You wouldn't be so easily distracted. Just like I got to hear from my ancestors, you got to do the same. I don't care what you practice. I don't care if you don't even practice a religion. If you don't follow the guidance of your ancestors, then you're going to always be subject to somebody's influence. But when you follow the guidance of your ancestors and you understand that your ancestors got your best interest because you do have enough knowledge about any parts of ATR that it ends with you, it starts with you. When I went through my misas, and let me explain it to you like this. We have the ability to assign spirits to people. But your spiritual makeup, your spiritual frame, your spiritual core is divinely given. And when you go through those misas, whatever spirits are in your court, if they are true seers and clairvoyants and mediums, that's what's going to come out. It's just like getting your blood work. Whatever's in your blood, it's going to show it. Good or bad. Nobody controls the report. It's whatever is in your blood that determines how people respond to the report. I'm 52 years old. So if this doesn't make sense, I hope that this makes sense today. No man knows the hour. I do hazardous work. In other words, I'm constantly cleansing people, fighting for people. Anytime you are a warrior, there's a day that comes that you may not be awakened on this side. I'm 52 years old. I don't want to get hurt, harmed because of somebody betraying themselves and in that affecting me in a negative way. This is why I say do not come to me unless you're ready to make certain moves. Because while you are here playing in this thing called life, other people have things to lose. And therefore, out of respect for those people like me that are straight up and honest with you, respect their energy and where they are in their existence. Because if you're not ready to play ball, then you need to get off the court. This is why we have things that we talk about when we say, when you're a little dog, stay on the porch. If you can't run with the big dog, in other words, if you can't operate and function and navigate in life in your higher self, you're going to struggle with people that know themselves, that know their ancestry. They're not walking in faith. They are walking in a knowingness. The fact that out of all my classes, out of all my teachings, out of all my videos, you still don't get this. Every dime you spend is for you. Every time you give your attention to any of these videos, it's for you. This is why I make sure I don't lie. Because the last thing you need to do is get information that is not true. And if I care about myself, I'm going to abide in the truth. Even if it works for me, even if it works against me. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to reach my destination. And I hope, sir and ma'am, that you are trying to reach your destination, your soul destination. Anytime you're trying to develop and trying to understand why you are going through the things, I use this term. Where's your wonder twin? Where is your wonder twin? Who can activate y'all wonder twin powers? Who are you allowing to separate you from the people that are like-minded, that will magnify your energy? If you get in the room, in this place, there's so Jane and Jana, the wonder twin, had a power within themselves, but they could not activate that power. One could become any element, and then one could be transformed into an animal. There are people in your life that you can activate and activate your power, but you are hanging around people that will deactivate your energy, deactivate your agenda, deactivate your purpose. When you know who you are, you stay in your lane. Because you understand that there's nothing outside of that lane that you need. You don't be looking over the fence. That's why I don't compare myself to other people. It is not arrogance. Nobody can beat me being me. I understand individuality. I understand that there may be other Sagittarius, but it's not me. I have a different energy signature. That's why we're in the age of Aquarius, your individual energy signature. And you will understand, especially when you get initiated, you have a certain name, you have a certain number, because it is your individual energy. And that's why when people get that information and they mishandle that information, that's why they can affect you in such a manner, because that is your energy signature, and you the only one that have it. Everything that the cartoons, the Marvel movie, Wakanda, all of that is a representation of yourself. That's why you feel so empowered. But when you feel empowered, what do you do with that empowerment? How do you utilize it? How do you correct your reality? What's up, my 69? It say you don't owe nobody nothing but love. And the first person you owe that love to is self. And ain't nobody's fault that you don't understand what love is. If I don't like the interpretation of your love, I'm not going to habitate. I'm not going to reside. I'm not going to abide. Some things in life shouldn't be worth it to you. And some things in this life should be absolutely worth it to you. You really feel like we feel sorry for you when you're exposed to the same knowledge, the same wisdom, the same understanding. You're a coward. You're not betraying me, you're betraying yourself. This is why Harriet Tubman, when the slave decided they wanted to go back, that's why she ended their life. Because you are not going to change our reality, because you went 100 with the journey. When people ask you over and over something, are serious about life and they want to make sure that you're serious. When you hear me say, you know what, whatever you do, make sure you're consistent. And now you want to make like I'm being funny. When you don't betray yourself, it's very easy to betray me. I'm going to say that again. People that betray themselves, if you think it is difficult for them to betray you, you have betrayed yourself. When somebody always got to be encouraged to move forward, how you gonna do something for your kids when you can't do nothing for yourself? The best thing I can do for my children is to live my existence. Because just like God, they have my DNA on the inside of them. And that's what they better be calling on. And because I got to get out here and swim in these waters called life. Or what you trying to tell me not to love my children? No. I'm saying you need to stop betraying yourself because of that love. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna never tell nan parent not to be a parent. But you don't have to betray yourself to be that parent. You don't have to betray yourself to be a wife or a husband or a side piece. Praise God. As long as you're not betraying self, you can navigate in this life. You can make sure self is protected. You can make sure self is in a position to get what they need. That's why when I'm travel, even with ministry, I never put myself in a position because I'm going to do a revival, hoping that the pastor in the congregation make sure that my needs are met. I go strapped. I have never did a revival anywhere. I had a pastor put me and my members in a hotel. All of them had money, but I had enough money that I can make sure all of them were okay. That's how I travel. Because I'm not going to let nobody put me in. I said, no, we're going to go to the Marriott. If you ain't got the money, we are up north. I say, no problem. I said, when I get to your church, I will raise the money. And when I got there, he ain't had that many members, and I still raised $2,000. Because it's from within me. I don't dote on what other people going to do, because everybody don't love themselves like that. Everybody don't have a problem being a deceiver. I don't even let the deceptions of other people cause me to betray myself. I don't let the illusions of other people make me betray myself, because I keep it basic. Whatever your intention is, hopefully it's good. Because if it's good, God gonna bless you for helping me. If it's bad, no weapon formed against me gonna prosper. And I've already set up the parameters to make sure I'm okay. When I was going through my initiation, I was making sure I was okay, because I was bringing all of my spirits in this initiation. I was bringing my matriarch, because I'm tied to my family. I'm a matriarch. So I knew what I had on the line. See, when you value you ask questions and you keep your eyes alert. The mere fact that if you wasn't so keen on betraying yourself, when you hear the truth, you'll walk therein. I don't care where you hear the truth. The truth gives light, and it gives you the ability of freedom. When they say the truth shall make you free, that reality of that truth puts you in a different reality. And it puts you in a driver's seat of your life. And the fact that you've been around me how many years, and you don't mind betraying yourself, living beneath your privilege, living beneath your benefits, live. And the fact, I'm gonna say this. I heard somebody say this, but it's fitting for this video. What I am, I'm shamed for you. I'm shamed that you ain't shamed. There's no way I would tell people that I done been in church as long as I have, and my life look like it do. That's like saying that you've been a part of a gym for 12 years and you still don't look healthy. You don't still have a appealing physique. And so, what was your point of being in the gym? What is your point of being in the church? That's like going to school for 12 years and you ain't got a degree. You ain't got a certificate. You just got a registration that you signed up for college. You at 12 years, you don't have nothing, no completed courses, but you've been on the campus the whole time. If that don't bother you, baby, I'm ashamed for you. But it couldn't be me. It could not be the self. Not this Sagittarius. So you're not hurting anybody. You don't make your pastor look bad because you set your dumb ass in an environment that was not feeding you knowledge and understanding. You had a loyalty to betrayal. That's not anybody's fault because life is about development. And if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't talk to a Apostle. If you don't match what you say and what you live, I'm not listening to you. I don't care who you is. I accept people for who they are and where they are. And I always make the decision. If I want to live their reality, I'll take their advice. If I want your outcome, and that's why I myself, if I want people to adhere to me, I go by the same rules. That's why I'm first partaker. That's why self is the first person that if I tell you to do something, I already did. See, when you betray yourself, you are going to ask people to do stuff you ain't willing to do. So whatever this is that you have when it comes to Chief Apostle Ely, you're not really understanding my teaching. You're not really understanding my example. Because whatever you need that. And I would hope that you mean that much to you that you will get your needs. That's why we have these songs out here, many variations. It said, Mama may have, Daddy may have, but God bless the child that has his own. You want people to make the church look bad because you don't have what you need. How long did it take you to figure it out? How many years, how many sunsets, how many seasons did you have to go through to come to that conclusion? I told one person, and no shade, I told him, you're not a drug dealer. You a pole hustler. See, it's not illegal ways of making money, because you still have to have a drive. You still have to have an ambition. It don't matter what side of that. That's why I tell y'all about energy. It don't matter what side you claim you own. It takes the same tenacity. It takes the same endurance. It takes the same ability to revise your plans in order to be successful. And success is what you understanding who you are and what you bring to the table. Whatever is meant for me, I will have that. When it's meant, I remember when I thought I was in a place to operate where I am now. Looking back on myself, and having self-evaluation, I realized why God did not open that up for me. See, you can tell the truth on yourself without anybody bringing anything up when you give a proper assessment of self. And then you can correct whatever needs to be corrected for self. And therefore, you don't mind other people assisting you in the correction. The more problems you have with your inadequacies, it's really because you don't want to put the work in self, because you can always improve. Just like your health can improve. That's why this means so much to me. Because out of all the things I'm sharing, out of all the things I'm preaching, out of all the things that I'm doing for people, you still think this is about me. No, what I'm doing is about me. And what you doing is about you. And hopefully, by me laying out a template, by me being an example of a light, that you will want that for yourself. If you don't ever want to be extraterrestrial, if you don't ever want to be celestial, if you want to be, I'm only human, that long as it does not affect me, if you don't want to evolve and you prefer to devolve, sir and ma'am, it's your life. You're the one hindering your ancestry line, not me. Every innocent you buy that puts you in a better state of mind, every cleansing you get that puts you in a better quality of life, that helps you. The world is not telling you no. You telling you no. Because if you were saying yes to you, what you deserve, then anything that is contrary to that, you would get around. You would not fool with. If your energy ain't matching what I need, I'm moving on. As long as you keep giving yourself excuses, and anybody I raise that all excuses and none but lies, you have infinite potential on the inside of you. And I'm not going to love your potential. If you can't manifest your reality, where are we going? Where are we going? You betray yourself on a Monday. You betray yourself on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then you try to come to church on Sunday and betray God in his presence. Because you want to pretend like out of all this anointing, out of all this now, you still stuck. You stuck. Not the flow of the spirit. Not God's potential. You know how many people are not getting healed? Yahshua said, in because of the unbelief in certain cities, he wasn't able to heal many people. Does that make you not a healer because somebody ain't ready to be healed? Quite naturally. You love giving up. And I'm gonna give y'all some wisdom. People that love giving up, they can do it for a reason. Because they love sympathy. Nobody does anything unless they get something out of it. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, or perceived good thing or bad thing. You're doing what you're doing for a reason. You may be ashamed of that reason, but you're doing it. Because what I teach and I share would empower you. If every Sagittarius give you their story, they'll tell you people are always talking about you all trying to make somebody feel insignificant. You doing too much, but you don't want to acknowledge that you're doing too little. I'd rather have everything I need and more than not have what I need. Hell, here come a posse. He always trying to show us up. It's not that very difficult. Once you pass the bare minimum, you outdoing them. Those are the people you trying to compare yourself to. Those are the people you trying to measure yourself, because you shouldn't be measuring yourself by anybody. But if those are the people that you feel superior to, that their spirituality is grazily above, they grazing above basic, how far are you gonna get? What I want you to understand in this video, stop lying on me. Stop lying on me. It's not about me. I'm just a beacon. I'm just a vessel. Stop making people think, well, I'm doing this because of this, and I got scammed, and I got lied to. That's what the reality. If you wasn't betraying yourself, you would have never got scammed. People will try you. Do not confuse that what I'm saying. I done been tried, but you won't try me for long. And there's consequences for betraying me and trying me. Because I'm going to always do what is best for self. And me doing that, I'm doing what's best for the ancestors. When I make sure my health is on up to par, I'm doing myself a favor. I'm doing my ancestors a favor, and therefore I can utilize that powerful arche that I have inside my body. You can't even maximize your potential because you ain't taking care of you. Every day you get up, you trying to make sure that a rent is paid or mortgage is paid. What about the temple of your God? That's all I've been teaching y'all. If you listen to me, is self-care. Utilizing ATRs, these sciences, to take care of yourself. And in taking care of yourself, you take care of your ancestors. Don't play yourself trying to play me. Because your happiness is within you. Your joy is within you. And you have allowed your betrayal of self to let somebody else take your peace, take your joy, take your affirmation, your confidence, and that ain't nobody's fault but you. Because if you're doing self-care, you will have boundaries. Even with the people you love. Because what you're doing is affecting me to the point it's causing me trauma. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of my well-being, my nervous system. If you on my nerve, I'm going to get you off. You could be my mama. I am going to get you off my nerves. I'm going to stop giving you a piece of my mind before I lose consciousness. Because working with adults should not be that much of a struggle. And if you weren't still out here outside looking for everything on the outside and understanding your microcosm on the inside, we can get along better. We really would. We have better conversations. We would have more things to talk about that is actually interesting and also is edifying. You're not if you're not trying to evolve, you're missing the mark with my messages. This ain't about telling nobody off for uh uh trying to destroy all, because I honestly believe, and that's what people get offended with me. You're not even my equal. You're not my enemy. I would defend myself against you, but who told you you were my enemy? I don't want what you have. I mean, the purpose of an enemy is opposition. I'm not trying to do what you're trying to do. I'm not messing with somebody that feeds you, that's fucking you. Like, why would I be an enemy? What constitutes? There's more than enough people out here with problems, even if it's for a spiritual purpose. Why would I have an issue with Demetrius? Why would I have an issue with his growth? Didn't you say there's more fish in the sea? Then goddamn it, go fishing. Why are you out here angry with what Demetrius has pulled out of the sea of life? They told me a man don't work, don't eat. A closed hand can't be fed. Or a closed mouth. So you don't care enough about you to remain ignorant, knowing that a lack of knowledge, God said he'll destroy you. And you know who that God is? The God in you. Because if you're going to not have knowledge, then how can you fulfill destiny? And so what is the purpose of you being here? If you're going to abort your destiny, there's no reason for you to be here. And therefore, yourself turns on yourself. You destroy you from within. This is why Paul said in that Bible, I'm ready to be offered up. I finished my course. You wouldn't be so unhappy, so discontented, if you were really taking care of self. I've lived in this house, I think 9 years now. It's never told me thank you. But every time I take care of self, myself say thank you. I really needed that. Thank you for not running me on low. Thank you for getting rest. Because now we can function more effectively in this thing called life. Thank you for working with me and not against me. If that ain't going on, baby, in your conversation with self, you're not doing it right. It's not Elegba. It's not Oshun. It's not Yemiya. It's not the Loas. It's not Esli Dontor. I promise you. It's not Seattle Rios. It's you. And you're expecting people to do something for you that you ain't willing to do for yourself. Which, ma'am and sir, that is betrayal of self. If God gave you the keys to the kingdom, why would he come down here and open up a door for you? I want you to make that make sense to your own mind. If you were given, and you have been given the keys to the kingdom, because the kingdom is on the inside of you, then why would the divine do something for you that it is definitely within your ability, power, creativity, capacity to do it for yourself? Make that make sense. Aren't they here to help assist you in what you're trying to do? And what you can't do for yourself? Peter could not set himself free from them chains. Peter could not set himself free from the guards. And that's why prayer was needed. When you praying about stuff you can actually do for yourself, you wonder why your prayers go unanswered. Prayer is needed when you need higher assistance. When you have did what all you can do. And now I need higher assistance. It's not that you stuck. You refuse to move. He done already told you you're going to be a father of many nations and you're going to have to leave your father's land. The spirits done already instructed you. You ain't moved yet. How are you looking for a fulfillment of prophecy? How are you looking for things to come to fruition? What is an elbow going to do for you? What is a ritual going to do for you when you sitting on your ass? When you are out there fulfilling your destiny, you should never feel like you're not going to make it. Because all things do work together for the good of them that love God, are called to his spirit. And I'm talking about the God within you. Your Emmanuel, your Christ, your Christos, your Dumbalov, your Eligba. When you get through these ceremonies, you're gonna realize that you have the opportunity to have these orishas because they're an extension of who you are. You just got to go through the proper channels to get them. That's all. I am Cynthia, but now I have the instrument to manifest within myself through those cauldrons. That's the real magic. All you're doing is getting other artifacts to help you manifest aspects of yourself, your aspects of your energy. That's why all your Aloas and Kisi and Pungo are a reflection of you. Oya is my personality. Oya is served and honored on Thursday. Jupiter, I'm a Sag. My rising sign is Pisces. Still Jupiter. That's why Oshun and Yemija. That's why Ogun is my father as well. The energy makes sense. When you understand self, every African deity makes sense. Every Nubis and my Aset, Ra, all that makes sense. It doesn't matter what tradition you in. It's still development of self, development of the soul. And if you're not willing to put the work in for you, then you're not going to achieve the goal of any of those ETRs. You can stay right in Christianity and develop the I am and become powerful, become evolved. It's still out of Egyptology. It's still out of Kemet. And so therefore the science still works. You don't have to have brand new equipment to get the job done. You don't have to have a brand new bicycle to do cardiovascular workout. Cut them lies. Cut them lies. Cut them lies. You don't need a brand new tennis racket to win a game. I promise you, Serena ain't a tennis star because of her tennis racket. She might like certain types of tennis rackets, but it's really her skills. Keep making excuses for yourself. Keep giving yourself a way out of doing right by you. And we're going to see where that gets you. I hope this really helped you. I hope you really took this for what it was and understand that Apostle Ely is here to help you, assist you in your development. Whatever that reality is, that you want, I'm not gonna work harder than you. I ain't gonna believe more than you. And if you don't want it for you, why would I want it for you? I'm not gonna waste my time or my energy. I have respect for people that come in here and they start giving in a way that lets me know they serious about themselves. What's up, Shamari? Give yourself an opportunity to really go back to the beginning of this video and hear me all the way through. There's a constant theme that you keep hearing. And when you keep missing the theme, you keep missing the message. Jimmy said, "Thank you, Apostle, for the this powerful message. If I didn't want y'all to win, I wouldn't be doing this. I really wouldn't. I'm not in a place in my life that I need to do all this. But until our people rise to the, like, that's my purpose. And you keep betraying yourself. And you keep trying to make it about me or the ATRs. Every time you say no, you're not saying no to me. You're saying no to yourself. If you can ever awaken to understand, you're not telling me no, you're telling yourself no. That's what I gets me upset, because you still at the end of the day have no problem betraying yourself. And that's what's sad. You will do something over and over again and try to hide it from a Pasili, but you have no problem doing it to yourself. It's not to hide it from me. I ordered the garden instant to gotta happen. Because your success, sir and ma'am, depends on you. I'm gonna leave because I gotta go to Miami.